Vocês até o estão understand Premier Ford has his different priorities that he's working on, but when we're talking about Team Canada, we have to stay united across the provinces. And having a Team Canada approach can't mean targeting jobs in another province. So I'm encouraging Premier Ford to change his mind. I know he's done a lot of press conferences on this already, but coming to you from the place where Crown Royal puts food on the table for many Canadian families, I think it's the right move here.
Premier, what is the impact of Crown Royal not being sold in Ontario? Ontario is one of the largest purchasers of alcohol on the planet. What is the impact here?
Well, first I'll tell you about the impact that taking American booze off the shelves has had. This is one of the things Canada has done that the Trump administration has paid attention to. They're upset, they're worried, they're nervous about it, so it does have an impact. But right now, I just really want to take this opportunity to encourage my buddy Doug to just not follow through on what he's been saying. We recognize that he's doing his job for the people of Ontario, but the reality is that Ontarians are Canadians just like people here in Gimli. And these jobs here in Gimli are super, super important. When we're talking about Gimli, you got tourism, you got the hospital, you got Crown Royal. This is one of the big employers in town, and it has been for generations. So we need to see that support. So again, I called Premier Ford earlier today, and I just extended him that invitation. I said, you know what? The Leafs are playing the Jets this weekend. If you get on your plane and fly here, I'll buy the tickets to the Jets game. We can settle this thing, put a smile on the faces of people here in Gimli, and just put this episode behind us.
Okay, Doug Ford said this, started mentioning this in the fall.
Yeah.
Why are you only coming out now? Was there some attempt at quiet diplomacy before, or were you holding your powder?
I've been speaking to Premier Ford about this for a long time now. And, we have seen him make his statements in public. I think more recently you've seen him start to reflect that, yeah, there is this operation here in Manitoba. There is an operation in Quebec as well, too. And so I think that's been very important. When he had his press conference, where before it was just speculation, but about a week or so ago, when he had the press conference saying that they were going to move ahead with the LCBO removal of Crown Royal, I was on the phone with him within the next few hours. And I made the case. I said, listen, Gimli, Manitoba is a community an hour north of Winnipeg where Crown Royal is a large employer. And you are going to hurt Canadian jobs. You're going to hurt Manitoba jobs if you follow through with this action. And so I've asked them to reconsider then. I asked them to reconsider again earlier today, and now publicly I'm doing that as well. We're in a unique moment. We're working together on Team Canada against the threat from Trump. So I'm not quick to try to escalate a trade war within Canada. And that's why I want to appeal to my buddy Doug, who I know is a good guy, to do the right thing here and ensure that we're supporting Canadian jobs in every region of the country.
Could you please answer Jeff's question, though, because this
Jeff?
is one of the biggest taxpayers, Diageo in Manitoba, might pay more excise tax in 1 year. So what is the effect going to be on the provincial coffers and on the economy here if this continues?
If this continues, okay. Yeah, that's all hypothetical. There is no boycott right now. There's been an announcement by Premier Ford. At this interim moment, I want him to reconsider and do a 180 here.
So you're not concerned about the economic...
I'm here in Gimli because I'm standing up for people's jobs. I am concerned for people's jobs here. I spent, the time earlier today talking to the workers because this is about specific families in Gimli being able to put food on the table. This is about ensuring that the Interlake has a large employer. You got people in Gimli, you got people who live on farms nearby, you got people in surrounding communities who've grown up in Winnipeg and in the region, putting food on the table for their families. So this is a really important priority in terms of the economy.
Has Diageo told you what the impact would be of a move like this for obviously not just the plant here, but for farmers in the area?
Well, there is a significant benefit to having this operation here. You got the jobs in the community, you got activity for the farmers. And so one of the other calls that we made right after Premier Ford made his announcement a week or so ago And we had done this previously. We'd asked Diageo, are you committed to Gimli? Are you committed to these Manitoba jobs? And they said yes. So when Premier Ford made his announcement again, he said publicly that he was concerned everything was going to move south of the border. So we called Diageo and said, are you still committed to Gimli? And they said, yes, we'll give you the verbal reassurance that we're committed to our Gimli employees, but we're putting our money where our mouth is. And so we have Manitoba Hydro that's been contracted to put in a $19 million new transmission line. That project's going to happen this year, 2026. It's going to go into 2027. It's part of an overall $70 million investment in this plant. This is a Canadian whiskey product. It can't be called Canadian whiskey. It can't be Crown Royal unless it's made in Canada. So I understand that Premier Ford has his issues with what's going on with a bottling operation in his province, but this is a real employer. This is a real benefit to our Manitoba and Canadian economy, as well as the Quebecois economy. And we're here to say a message to say, we understand, Doug, that you get fired up and you say things in public, but we also understand that you do the right thing when you have a chance to reconsider. And I'm asking you to reconsider because this is about sticking together as Team Canada. We know that we're standing together against the U.S., but a house divided against itself cannot stand. We got to stick together as provincial leaders. We got to stick together as Canadians.
If Premier Ford doesn't heed your call, what are the next steps for the Manitoba government?
Well, I'm optimistic that he will, and we're going to keep this maybe increasingly less quiet diplomacy moving forward. But if I'm understanding you right, you're wondering, are we going to go tit for tat? Are we going to remove Ontario products from liquor mart shelves? And my answer there is no, because then we'd be doing the thing that we don't think it's right for Doug Ford to do. We don't think it's right to take an action that's going to impact Canadian jobs in another province. And so we're going to hold the line in terms of that being a value that we're committed to as Manitobans. And then we're going to continue to appeal to the province of Ontario's better nature and to say, we think you should do the same. Continue to have your discussions with the parent company here all you want, but for the Manitoba workers, the jobs here in beautiful Gimli, Manitoba, we need you to continue doing business with us.
Can you make your statement en français, s'il vous plaît? And turn to your
Comment est-ce qu'on dit whisky en français?
Whiskey?
Whisky?
Whisky.
OK, merci beaucoup. Alors, je suis ici à Gimli, Manitoba pour demander à Premier Ford de changer ses plans. Parce que ici, dans notre province, Crown Royal, ça embauche beaucoup de monde. Ça crée beaucoup et plein d'opportunités pour de longtemps. Je viens juste de parler à un homme qui était en train de travailler ici pour 50 ans. Alors, ça nous démontre que ce n'est pas juste un emploi, c'est une carrière. Et pour nous, comme la province du Manitoba, nous sommes toujours d'accord avec une approche de Team Canada, mais ça devrait être une Team Canada qui fonctionne pour l'Ouest aussi. Alors, si on veut appuyer ceux qui travaillent en Ontario, nous devons appuyer aussi ceux qui travaillent ici dans le Manitoba, c'est-à-dire les employés de Crown Royal ici à Gimli.
Should school buses have seatbelts?
So there's a very scary situation in our province that I found out about earlier today. Near Swan River, you had a bus. I'll leave it to other sources to provide you with the details, but I'm sure that you've seen some of those pretty scary injuries that took place as a result of a school bus being involved in an accident. I'll leave that to other people to confirm and to give you those details. What I would say is once we had information about where some of the folks... Is it public? Can I ask you guys?
Yeah, it's public.
Yeah, everything's public because I haven't seen media on this yet. So yeah, I got on the phone with the chief of Sepatoyak, Nelson Janai, pretty much as soon as I became aware of what had taken place. First of all, just to check in and offer support, but also to say, you know, we're going to be there to offer whatever help is needed for your community members. I believe 4 of whom were on their way at the time we spoke to the Health Sciences Center in Winnipeg, and then the balance of the people, including the driver and the other students, headed to the Swan Emergency Department. So we're going to continue to offer the support that we want. I would encourage folks from Sepetoyak to be in touch with your community leadership as well as us if you need updates on the family members. In terms of seat belts on school buses, you know, I'm open to the conversation, but we have to be patient about identifying what took place in this instance before we rush to propose the right solution. Again, what was the cause of this accident? What was the nature of the injuries? What would be the safety measure that would come out of it? I'm very open to hearing, but we don't have that information yet. So I think we got to get that before we go to that
What
next.
hopes do you have?
Before we get to that next level.
Forgive me. What hopes do you have
Forgive me.
from the Carney visit to Asia in terms of results, either for canola or anything else?
Well, canola and pork tariffs from China have put a lot of economic uncertainty and some real economic hardship on our ag industry here in Manitoba. And so we want to see an off-ramp. So I wrote to Prime Minister Carney this week, just reiterating that we want to see action to help our canola producers, to help our pork producers, our pork industry, our canola exporters in this time of tariffs. And so Prime Minister Carney has been good about giving us updates heading into this trip. I hope he's successful, and I hope that we're able to get an off-ramp. Okay, now I have a, for the B-roll minded people in the house, I got a marker and I'm going to sign some casks of whiskey here. Barrels of whiskey.
Give us a minute.
Yeah, you guys give me the heads up. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
You good? Okay, so this one I'll just sign myself. I'll dedicate to the employees here.
Yeah.
Hopefully I got enough ink in this marker. And then I'll dedicate this one to Premier Ford. You know, it's always a good time to do the right thing. And in this case, helping out the people of Manitoba.